So we can get ready to
get some get in here, get in, y'all. Because if you didn't know already, this is time for tea to be spilled. Like boiling
I
hot.
I thought we had a lot last week, but I think there might be just as much, if not more, tonight.
You have no idea. Like I'm sitting here
Oh,
trying.
are you channeling Jasmine Master Scroll? Is that what I'm hearing?
I am yes. I am Damon, and I have a lot to say. And I have something to say. RuPaul's Drag Race done fucked up drag.
Mm,
Uh,
okay.
uh, okay,
You ready to
okay.
begin?
Yes, let's do it. Let's get it going, kitty girl.
All
It's your work.
right. Let's do.
Holding my crown and scepter. Here we go.
Oh, listen to you.
From the most sickening reaches of the Rooniverse, I searched among my most legendary children to find queens with the superpowers of charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. To join forces with the super queens that rule the Drag Race Hall of Fame. But remember, my all-stars, with great power comes great responsibility.
She's a super queen. RuPaul Drag Race.
Hey, kitty girls, it's Sunday, February 17th, 2019. Welcome to Cubs Out Loud Drag Race Tea Time. All Stars 4, episode number 10, aka the finale, you super queens.
Finally,
Finally,
finally.
the finale. So for those of you that don't know, there are two fabulous co-stars that help host this video/audio podcast. My name's Gary, and with me over here is...
This is Damon in my crown, holding my scepter.
Oh,
Thank
girl.
you guys so much. Actually, no, fuck it. That hurts after a while.
Oh.
Don't take that. But I will be doing that a lot.
A lot of
This.
a lot of fanning. You got some
A lot of fanning. Oh,
some fanography to work
I
tonight.
need the fan because the tea is hot, y'all. The tea is hot, scalding, actually.
All right, well, let's jump right into it because we're already very late on getting the show up and running tonight. So a couple of things we need to have a discussion about before we get into all the real deal stuff. So
Yes.
it's the finale. If you have not watched it since Friday or have been on the internet and been on social media and had the shit already spoiled, it's going to get spoiled here. So just be
Just be prepared
warned.
that this is big spoiler territory. If you haven't seen the episode yet, I'm sorry. Like you're I can't even say anything else to it, but you will be spoiled here.
Yes.
I would hope you haven't, or you have seen it and you just want to hear us talk about it. But if you haven't, but you don't care, because I'm sure there's some people that don't, like, oh, whatever.
Right.
So enjoy.
Yes. Before we get into the actual challenge of the episode, there's a couple things I want to talk about. The first of which is this drama. So, for those of you that don't know, Miss Monet Exchange does her own YouTube series called Monet Expose, and she talks about the latest episode. And she actually talks about this whole thing that this graphic has here that's pointed out. So on the left is a lovely graphic of Miss Monet during judges' critique when she was told by Michelle Visage she looked a lot like a mouse. And everybody was like, what? Obviously, bitch, it's Pink Panther. But on the right is a still screen image of her at the mirror when Naomi, right? When she,
No, Trinity.
no, right, when Trinity
Trinity is clearing
is
the mirror.
clearing the mirror. And notably, Monet's face looks different. Monet actually has black makeup on the end of the prosthetic where her nose is to make it look like a nose and like little whiskers.
Mm-hmm. Why is that, y'all?
I got one word for you. Edit. I don't know what happened, but Monet admitted in her own YouTube series that she asked the other queens when they were done getting ready before they were going to go on the runway if her face looked okay with the prosthetic, and they said yes. And it wasn't until she got judges' critique, especially from Michelle, did she realize when she saw herself in the mirror backstage that she forgot to put the black on. To connect like the bottom of the prosthetic nose down to the lip to make it look more feline. So what cracks me up is that it shows up in the mirror moment. Mind you, her bangs are now missing. So
also true. The bangs are gone. The nose is there. We got two totally separate looks. It looks like a different. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if this is what's gonna happen, y'all, like, let's like own it. Like say, like, put a little blurb, like, I had to put the black on because you guys were lying to me about my face. like just something.
Yes. So and I wanted to make recognition to the fact that Monet's nose was not complete and then was complete. And I don't know how that happened in regards to the runway. We never really saw it in the last episode. So I don't know if they used like all the first take, because when they run the runway, they do it twice. And I don't know if like it was, if they did something again, or if she only fixed it for backstage for the mirror. I don't know.
I wonder.
I don't know.
have to now look at this episode. I have to look at the episode again, like near the end, and see if it changed.
I don't know.
So
there was a little nose drama with Miss Monet, and then we get to what I call the Kiki. So the four remaining queens get to sit backstage or back in the workroom and have a chit chat. Monet is killing me in this moment because she took her shoes off. She wrapped her tail around her waist. Like she's just, and this is the beginning of the moment when the nose is still full. I didn't capture all the images, but she was picking her nose off apparently during this moment, and it peels away and it's not all gone. So her face looks all screwed up.
Yeah.
From the applique. It just cracks me up to no end. But I also want to give a shout out to Miss Monique Hart for pulling one of the funniest gaggy moments in the entire season, because Monet's like, girl, I want to know what you got under that cape. Like, whose other lipstick do you have? Right. And Monique goes, well, out of respect, I don't think it's fair. Like, she pulls this complete BB Sahara bullshit moment.
Monet bullshit. I don't think I should tell you right now. And I'm like, we already know. Like, no, we ain't playing. We ain't playing that shit in season 4, y'all. Like, no. Out of respect for Ben, I will no.
And she played it so well. She's like, out of respect for this queen, I don't think it's appropriate. And Monet, I don't think you want me to do this to you in front of America. And I was like, I was like, no, she is not.
I had that gag. I had that moment as well. Like, she did not just, she did. And then she goes on like, I didn't really like you in the challenge, so I picked you. And then we get this. Like, nope. Ha ha. Funny. Go ahead, Monique. You made me like almost spit my tea out. Like,
oh man.
I was about done.
One of the best like switcheroo funny moments in the history, I think. I loved it so much. She shows it says Latrice. Even though she shows it right to her face and she says, I picked you, and then holds it up so she can see clearly that it says Latrice. I was like, you shady bitch. Funny, but shady. Just I loved that moment. So
sorry about Latrice.
Yes. So, are you ready to move on and talk about the challenge?
Let's do it.
All right, so.
Ladies, you've made it to the grand finale of All Stars 4. Now, for this week's final Maxi Challenge, you'll be dancing and singing to my new single, Super Queen.
Word, Super Queen, honey.
First, you'll compose and record a solo verse that expresses your super queen superpowers. Then, the super talented Todrick Hall will teach you super sickening choreography. And later today, you'll be joining me and Michelle at our super entertaining podcast, What's the Tea? Now, in the end, the top 2 all-stars of the week will lip sync for the win.
All right, so the challenge is called Super Queen. I want everyone that's watching the video to pay attention to the magic that's going to happen on your screen, because this is the image that was represented in the preview. And this is the actual image in the real show.
Oh,
Can y'all spot the difference?
I can.
Now, this is just a personal pet peeve of mine. I don't know what the fuck the editing company was doing, but this is some shady shit. You show it one way with a pink background, and it's more comic-y superhero, and then in the actual show, it's like purple and clouds and fog. Fuck all y'all. I ain't got time for someone who's trying to capture some screenshots.
Because you definitely caught that, and you're like, oh, because I so didn't.
I was
First
like,
and second time I watched it.
I was like, bitch, it was pink. It was that Pepto-Bismol pink that is just overly used, and all of a sudden it was purple. And I was like, now what the hell is going on over there? Does it matter anything else in the episode? Absolutely not. But I just wanted to point out that you ain't crazy if you catch little details like that. So,
well, you are crazy.
well, that's true. So Rue reveals that they're going to do choreography with Todrick Hall. It's a music video. They're going to do a podcast. They got a runway look. They got to write lyrics. A whole lot of shit to do for the finale, as expected. And then we get this lovely, unexpected moment where the previous queens return. So we have Alaska, Chad, and Trixie, not in numerical order of winning, notably. But I thought it was funny. I loved this moment when they come back in the workroom and the 3 queens have their backs to them. And immediately I knew who they were. Like, I could just tell by their body shapes. And then I was like, oh, what if this isn't really them? What if they got, like, lookalikes? Like, drag queens that look like other drag queens. That, to me, would have been funnier. But so,
Yeah.
I loved this moment because of the episode. This was another highlight when they say that the drag race rules are suspended permanently. Talk about a gag.
Girl.
So I want to talk about this for a very brief moment. I want to say, when this was announced, when I watched this, I didn't watch the show live. I waited until it came to iTunes. So I watched it about 4:45 in the morning. Yes. So when it came on and I got to this moment, what little I had seen was in our Telegram social media chat. And all people kept saying is, watched, gooped. Watched, gooped. And I was thinking, right. And I thought this is what everyone was gooped and gagged about. I thought this was real. I thought the rules were really suspended. And I was like, get out of here. If the 3 of them get to pick the next queen, I am living for this moment. Like, how awesome would that be?
No.
False alarm.
No. Womp, 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 womp.
Alaska's just going to bring in some cocktails so they can get drunk earlier.
For some reason. Well, I get it that it was meant to kind of bring the queens, the current Hall of Famers in to kind of give like a little like kiki moment with them as well, and just how to have fun with it, which is cool.
Right.
But the whole like let's all right, okay. Thank you for another turn. Da da da. Blah. All right.
So yeah, but I appreciate that they brought the queens in for recognition. So that was fun. I want to talk briefly before we get into the challenge about the podcast, because I actually listen to this podcast. I actually enjoy the podcast for the most part. This has replaced the Tic Tac Lunch for those of you that like haven't necessarily been around long enough to watch all the seasons. Rue looks amazing, wearing the same suit as when came into the workroom. However, I noticed this the very first year they did the podcast, and other people have critiqued, and I just want to chime into the same thing to say, you know, when you do a podcast, you have to talk into a microphone, like into the microphone. And
like we're doing right fucking now.
Right. So we're wearing these headsets with these little bendy arms, you know, that come around so the microphone is near your mouth and actually picks up the sound. instead of the little microphone lapel that the Rue is wearing, that Michelle is wearing, that's conspicuously right behind the big microphone. Yeah. It cracks me up to no end that the podcast is just all fake. Like,
yeah.
I'm like,
I mean, well, maybe they are recording it and maybe they will eventually show it, air it or whatever. I doubt they do. No. Do we know? Do they ever?
no.
Do we know that? No. Okay,
In
thought so.
all
Okay.
the years of the podcast existing and this new element in the finale of the seasons, this never airs in the actual podcast. Now, it's fun. I get it. They have to do a lot of media press as a queen who wins, so it's an element of the future of their life. But to be honest, by the time they're actually on All Stars, this is old gig, honey. Like they've been doing like media, talk show, radio, television, YouTube. Like they've been doing all of it. So this means nothing. So
yeah, I just find it very funny, like you said, that there's nobody recording the like the. I mean, they might be recording the audio and the video, blah blah blah, because they do have microphones on, but.
Right.
Yeah,
girl, this is not real.
This is props.
This is television.
Props.
It's for entertainment purposes.
Fake.
Which we're gonna come back to
Nada.
At the end of this episode
Error.
tonight, I think. Yes.
Sorry.
Not how podcasting works.
No, this is not how podcasting works. Okay.
It's a challenge. Super Queen music video. So the lovely Todrick Hall. Hey girl. I'm wearing his sweatshirt that I got on tour this past year. Fits a little tight, but that's okay. Todrick teaches them choreo. This to me was very fun.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get to the actual music video, we have to give a shout out because the previous 3 Hall of Star Queens are now in a band, apparently. Alaska is channeling Adore Delano realness, smashing all the drums. And, of course, Trixie's playing guitar, which she can actually play. And then Alaska's doing keyboards, maybe cowbell. I'm not really sure. Or sorry, Chad. Girl, I should have put liquor in this. I didn't, but I'm so high and wound up on talking about this show tonight.
Ooh. Oh my. She's got that juice in her.
So, first up, Miss Monet, Exchange.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
She got some nice, handsome men with her, too.
Yeah.
I just realized they're all wearing, like, pirate patch eyes or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about. But she is definitely delivering this, like, warrior princess. As was pointed out, she went bald.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no problem with this. I do not necessarily think it was a shout out to Sasha Velour, but of course
No.
Sasha gets so much recognition as being the bald queen, even though she was not the first. Thank you very much, Nina West and the rest.
So this is actually in reference to, because she showed it on Twitter. The oh gosh, their name just left my head. So Black Panther, the movie, the warrior women that are basically his guards.
Right.
In the comic, they're also his concubines, or whatever. But yeah, so it's kind of a tribute to that, which I'm also living for, because it's very awesome. I don't know who your costumer is, but kudos to them for making this, really nice outfit that shows you off and is not. I mean, obviously it's a leotard-ish kind of thing, but it's still like there's some elements that are added that make it a lot better.
Right. So yeah, she looks really good. Then we get to Monique Hart, who is serving me some industrial Ghostbuster meets Phantom of the Opera moment. I'm not quite sure what this is about, but yeah, it's a lot of fog with a big fan, big hair, hairography. I do have to give props. It's a good wig. Like, it's got lots of volume. I wasn't happy about the fact that it kept falling into her face a lot when she was, whipping her hair down and trying to get it back out of her face and stuff. But
yeah, well,
she
definitely had fun with it.
She did. Miss Naomi Smalls is delivering us latex realness. She does legography, being elevated up,
Yes.
which I thought was pretty cool. And she does like some kind of forced split-ish type things. I thought it was so funny when Todrick was like, "How limber are you?" And she's like, "A little limber-ish." Like, she was being honest. She wasn't like, she wasn't saying, "I'm
She's not a
Katya."
gymnast.
Right. I'm Violet Chachki. I can do all the gymnastics and the aerials that you want. She notably, was being slightly realistic about it. So I thought the outfit looked great. She definitely, actually, out of the four of them, I thought looked the most superhero kind of comic. If that's really what this whole concept was supposed to be about, which I say with a question mark in my voice on purpose, because that never was made like
clear.
Yes. Thank you.
Soccer.
Yeah, I know. So, notably, she's wearing blue hair, which is something, a little different from Miss Naomi. So I was pleased with what she did there. And then Miss Trinity is delivering like female, like She-Ra meets Flash Gordon meets like Skeletor, like the female version of Skeletor. I can't remember what it is in She-Ra. I mean, it was just, it was all of those things. It's holographic, it's silver, it's spiky. It's definitely,
Yeah, there was a lot going on with this one. I'm not hating it. Like you were saying, like, as you noticed, we only have a few captures of this. There was a lot of like capeography in this one as well. And it worked really well in her favor. But like, I loved her in the very beginning when it was just her. And because essentially all the like dancers come in with these capes, and it's like, oh yay, they've got all capes, but it tends to start distracting from her just a little bit. Like when I think it was either Michelle or Carson that say that they couldn't take their eyes off of her. I will disagree with that. I often I took my eyes off of her because I was looking at all the capes like floating and flittering around.
Right. And in this moment that is captured right here, I don't have one of Trinity before the cape, because Trinity actually for the first couple seconds didn't have a cape. And then these guys are actually attaching it. So like Philip says in the live chat, I loved the reverse reveal with the cape. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. Like it's the opposite. Instead of having a cape and then taking it off and revealing something, it's an addition. It's kind of like when you have your ascension for your crowning in a royal, like, concept, like you get more shit put on you basically. So I get the subliminal message and that kind of stuff. And I do appreciate that the gentleman with the beard with the thick thighs, is the one that's
hold
on
on,
this picture.
hold on.
But
there he is. I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. I'm usually looking at the queens in this episode. I usually don't look at the guys. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. But yeah, that was, yeah. Ooh.
Well,
hello.
I got the
well,
thick
there's that.
thighs. I know. He got a little booty on him too. So, yeah. No, so, I mean, Trinity definitely, I mean, look at this. Trinity is just posing for the gods, profile shot, looking up. She knew what she was doing.
Yes, she did.
So, Mr. Damon, what are your thoughts on the Super Queen music video challenge?
So get ready for some shade here. So
wait. Should I just have this on the ready?
Yes. So I called this very easy season 10 repeat. This is very much to me the finale of season 10, where not the finale, but like the finale like challenge where, oh, we're gonna dance and sing and have our lyric and da 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 da. It wasn't too much different, than that season to me. And I'm not, actually I am. I'm knocking it because I felt like we could have done something else. While it's great to have those queens back and the choreography was great and Todrick is awesome and everything else, it felt very like season 10 to me. Because they all get their moment, and then they all come back, and it's all four of them just dancing and da 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 da, like yay! Like it. We've done this before, and it doesn't feel all stars to me. If that makes any sense.
I don't disagree, because last year I thought was amazing where they did the live shot one camera, continuous. I know, I see your air quotes. The one camera shot, but that was amazing to watch. And I was expecting the same caliber of a music video again this year, that it was going to be moments with each of the top queens. And it was going to be a lot of pressure and all this like super rehearsed, and it was going to, have you on the edge of your seat and not sure how it was going to play out. And no, we got what we've gotten in the past. So instead of moving forward, we actually regressed and we went back to what we used to do.
Yeah. I am hating it. I'm not hating it. Let me rephrase. I think it's just not All Stars caliber to me. Like, it seems like this is something you would do in a episode or a regular season, not a All Stars like, finale kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know what else they could have done, but something other than this. Because, to me, if I were like one of the All Stars, like in this, those three that got called back, and like, guess what you get to do? You get to play instruments in the background while the current All Stars, perform in front of you with the dancers and stuff.
Right.
Yay.
Yeah, I just feel that it's disappointing. And so my comment was, I see where the money didn't go. And by that, I mean, I'm just not thrilled with this like stage production music video thing. You know what's really sad? So the recent queens on the All Stars 4 season have put out better music videos than even WoW Productions has done.
And that's a read, y'all.
When Trinity the Tuck and Monet Exchange can drop singles on YouTube 28 hours leading up to the reveal of who wins, and their production value is better than this music video, it says a lot. When Courtney Act releases a music video to compete in Eurovision, and it's better quality than this music video done in a studio, there's a reason why I say I know where the money didn't go. Because it didn't go into this production.
No. I mean, I'm not, again, more than likely, as I'm you're going through it, I'm trying to decide if they just used two sets or if they just used one set or something along those lines. It's very hard for me to tell. Did they use the same set?
I think it is just one big room. Do you know what I think this is? I think this is the same room that they used for the All Stars Holla Slay Spectacular baloney. Because the shots seem very similar. Like, it's this weird, wide, kind of angled thing, black backdrop. Let's put some fog on the ground. Because that apparently is theatrical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Very difficult to see people's feet, to see, what they're wearing, what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh,
so
well.
I
womp womp.
Yeah, I saw where the money did not go in this case. And
money didn't go here, y'all. No, it didn't.
Yeah, it's it's kind of strange to me. And what's even more strange, like even in this shot, okay, so Monet gets center stage, gets a throne, gets a chair. Monique Hart gets a big fan to the left. The band is to the right, which means Naomi and Trinity don't actually get a segment of the stage. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
third. This third never changes because this is the band. Like, it's just so weird to me the way they shot it. I was like, yeah, okay, this is like, I think the nightclub challenge had more creativity and work put into it than this did. But
Club 96.
I'm just saying that I was not a fan of how this music video turned out. And it's nothing. Okay. It's nothing to do with the girls. It's completely the production. It just it wasn't what I thought it was necessarily going to be. Are we ready to move on?
Sure.
All right, let's talk about the runway.
Have a girl, put the bass in your walk. Have a girl.
Yeah, so runway. It is the last episode. The theme is All Stars Couture. I was not able to get.
Elegance,
Yeah, it's everything. Like
yeah.
this
Oh
is
my God. Oh
this-
my God.
right. This is when you bring your everything to the stage. I don't have a shot of Rue. I thought it was sort of simplistic. It was a silver dress with some like sort of limey, greeny, yellow stars and sequins on it. It was okay. Like it wasn't.
It was fine.
Let's do it. It was fine.
Well, I mean, it's just the finale of your fourth season of All Stars.
Yep. Moving on.
I can't with you. I know.
Let's talk about Monet Exchange.
All Stars.
I am going to say
Yeah.
this. I screamed very quietly into like a blanket because it was like almost 5 a.m. and I didn't want to wake up my neighbor. I live for this. I thought
Yes.
it was so like put together, methodical.
Yes.
It had a theme.
Mhm.
It had a concept. Like I was so happy.
I loved this so very much. From, with the exception to say the things in her hair, there's a part of me are in the I love the hair.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of what was in the hair. However, there's 2 options she had for this: to remove those or to add something to it that would have kind of contributed to the outfit. Like if she had done like a nap pose, y'all, that right there, just
The Wakanda moment.
yes,
Yes.
long live. Anyway,
Yes.
so yeah, so if she had done like something to like if you've seen like this kind of look, say in an African princess or queen kind of moment, they would wear like her hair up in like almost like a crown of the fabric. I would have loved to have seen that, but this is I just didn't like it. It
Oh.
didn't take away at all. It just was a different choice.
Yeah,
But
I personally
love-
was fine with it. Even the wood, like that curl and circles, the wood adornment in it, I was fine with that. It didn't phase me in the least bit. The fact that it's blonde, dread, like kind of in this like tapestry woven, like sculpted. I was just like, damn girl, like you definitely are delivering that.
Someone spent a lot of money to make that wig. I'm not saying like, but that looks awesome. Like, cause you probably had to get the dreads either. You could get the dreads made pretty easily. Like they probably sell them in packs, and but then you got to sew it together, and then you got to make this, like make it like the big like bouffanty kind of like go, and that's not easy with a whole bunch of individual, pieces of hair.
Right.
So kudos to your wig designer.
Yes.
And I mean, if you did it Monet, go bitch. Like,
Yeah, she definitely has risen so much since season 10
Yeah.
in terms of her quality, what she brought to the stage. Like to me, there was no doubt that out of the 4, she was a top contender.
her lips, everything. It's just all just goes so fucking well together.
Yeah, her nude lip is amazing in this look. I was very, very happy with it. Then we get Monique Hart.
Monique Hart looking like RuPaul. Just saying. Like,
wow. But RuPaul doesn't have that much highlight on her face, or at least it doesn't look that way.
also true, but it's very much like I could see RuPaul wearing this. Like not necessarily gloves per se, but
Right.
like the dress.
Yes.
The very structured, the tapered, the tapered dressed to the full, like openness and train. The gloves are, I personally am not the biggest fan of,
Right.
but they work when they're like down and together with the
Correct.
feathering in the middle. I'm gonna give a knock to Michelle. I'm so fucking tired of you talking about these bitches not having waist. There's a waist right there, right fucking there. Like, can you see that line right here where her waist is?
So here's why I think Michelle
Sorry.
commented on it. To me, it's not good enough. It's not big enough. Like that little 2-inch or whatever belt thing. I think for this outfit, because of those diamond leaf pieces, like whatever the fabric is, and it's creating all this volume. I think what Michelle was trying to say is your waist got lost because it's big and we can't see like the cut. And I don't necessarily disagree if that's the angle she was coming from. I think you just needed to make that belt, that midsection, like 3 times the size. Like, it's drag, honey. Your hair is the biggest hair you have ever worn on this stage. So,
True.
like, I think the exaggeratedness doesn't quite happen with that. And for me, I was not a fan of this look. I was really let down. She comes out and I was like, okay, first of all, there is no heart. There is no brown cow. We get to the end of the entire season and you have finally dropped all of the memography, all the things that you're known for in your runway, and there's nothing. Like, it's just, as I said to Damon before we started recording, a big black feather duster. I'm so confused. Like,
I understand, like the guy. So for those that don't know, I was at Bermondsey, the NAB weekend this weekend, and I happened to be able to, join a viewing party essentially. One of the guys. So thanks to this guy, I was able to see the episode before, like during the weekend, and while it took some time away from the weekend, it wasn't much time. It was good. Anyway, like the guys were loving this look. I like it. Like I heard audible gasp when she came out in this, and I was like, oh, okay. Like I'm not hating it. I'm liking it. I'm just like you said, Gary. I think it needed more. It needed something else. It needed. Right. I wanted something bigger. If she had done like a red heart, like right there in the middle where the breast thing comes down, and the middle of the, what I will call where her waist is supposed to be, in there, and then kind of done a bigger, like brighter belt, or hell, combined the two, done a red heart, and then the belt was like a stone, like brown cow, like print, like except in stones.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
And then the earrings would have been like the red hearts or something, just something along those lines, to kind of just subtly added to it. I agree with you. Like, now was not that now's not the time, but this was the opportunity to potentially bring that back just in a little way. And, she didn't. I'm glad she didn't wear. I like it, like I said, but I don't love it. And I wished it could have been better.
And here's the thing about the gloves. These gloves are the same type of gloves she wore in I don't remember what the theme was, the Eleganza one, where she took the top off and she revealed her breastplate with the nipple, like, stickers, and like it was just so weird. And she ran around in that dress with the big, like, mermaid bottom, but then had the gloves on. Like, it was just, when I saw these gloves, I was like, oh my god, girl, let go of the gloves. I don't care about brown cow stunning. I don't care about hearts. Stop the glove madness. Like, you have got a new thing that I don't want you to be remembered for, because they're long and they're misshapen and they don't fit you. And you have these exaggerated fingers that make it look like tendrils on a monster. It's just so weird. I was like, no, girl, you've got to stop this. Just no to the glove thing. Like, just, I don't know. And these gloves on this particular thing have these, like, extra pieces of fabric that hang off and that are supposed to match the dress. And I was like, yeah, so it's all black, and black. Okay. Yeah. And so it makes it difficult to really get excited about. And then we get Naomi Smalls. And I'm probably going to be out on a limb compared to a lot of people on this. I did not like this. I was not a fan of it. She made me think of a Barbie flamenco dancer that happens to be like a toilet brush cozy cover.
Oh my God.
It's just this big, ridiculous, like voluminous, satiny, purple clouded thing. I appreciated this moment that the dress bottom, thank God, was a reveal, and we got at least this, top that's all bedazzled and, with the hat and the blonde hair. Like, it's a look. It's very fashion. I'm not going to take that away from Naomi. She definitely served up what she's known for. Mm-hmm. I, however, did not like it. Like, the fact that Carson says what you wear when you have fat elbows. Like, it cracked me up so much, and I was like, wow, that says a lot. Yeah. So
I was actually I was a fan of this one.
Okay,
I will say that much. I'm not like, again, if I were to score everyone from 1 to 4, Naomi fell like 3rd for me in regards to looks.
Okay.
I once he started talking, like, well, Carson obviously is a fashion person. That's why he's on the show. So he talks about how this is like an homage or something along to something that,
right.
the Versace or whatever,
right.
Those, runways back in the day. And her own take on it. Okay, it makes sense then. Like, I get it. Obviously, it is meant to be an Argentinian tango kind of look. It's meant to be like this very interesting, fun look. And then she, obviously does the reveal, and, we get to see Naomi's legs, which she is very known for.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily hate it, but I don't love it.
Right.
It's just a little too much.
Well, and so here's the thing. This mesh deal, like, that surrounds her entire head except for her face, I'm not a fan of. I don't like the fact that it flattens her hair. Like, she's wearing this little blonde, must drive a wig. You know what I mean? Like, she's got this cute little blonde cut thing on, and, like, it's so weird. Like, I would have been okay if it came all the way up the neck, because she's got a decent, like, elongated neck physically. I would have been fine if it had just come up like a turtleneck all the way to the top and then had stopped. And then you just had the strap from the hat. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's strange to me.
Yeah, I understand. And maybe, we need to learn to edit, when we're thinking about our fashions. Because I kind of understand that it would have been great if it had been, like, right at the neck, and then you had some hair. Like, I would have loved, instead of, like, the short bob or whatever she has on, like, a hair that kind of is on one side. Maybe not necessarily long. It doesn't necessarily need to be long, but just, like, a shorter hair to just sort of accentuate the fact that it's kind of flamenco, and then wear the hat, like, as a fascinator kind of thing to kind of go with it,
Right. Or, actually, I probably would have been happier with this if she had no hair. If she was a bald queen, which she's not, but if she had gone bald for this look, I probably would have liked it more, because I'm bothered by the fact that I can't see the hair, and I know that there's hair there because there's something underneath. Like, underneath the hat and underneath this mesh net thing.
Yeah.
I think I would have.
You get some of the hair on the forehead too, so.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Anyway.
And then we get what I think is the look of the season, if not all seasons, as Michelle had referenced from the judges table. So Trinity comes out. I instantly got the reference. I understood that this was a serving wear pattern concept. I was floored. I was absolutely just blown away. And then the reveal with the teacups, I'm going to be honest, I don't like it. I think it's just not necessary. I thought the dress was so beautiful on its own that this was just a little too much.
I disagree.
Okay.
I loved it. I loved the whole, serving TT. Sorry.
That's okay.
That's the thing. Like, it worked really well. I loved the look. This was my favorite, like, top look of the evening of the episode. It's so well done. It's so well structured. It's so well made. It looks like it. Um, I mean, it's just so beautiful, and I love the color. I instantly got like the, like you said, the serving China pattern realness, whatever you want to call it. I very much got all of that, and I loved it. The guys in this episode definitely loved it. There are definitely a lot of Trinity fans um, in my viewing party,
Okay.
which was cool. But I mean, when Trinity has been serving looks like this for a while, and she's never like not like the old whatever thing she did for the Lip Sync for Your Legacy, that notwithstanding, but it just all just goes really well together. She knows how to wear a dress, and this one is just so pretty, so well done. I'm in awe of it because it just works so fucking well.
Yeah. No, I agree that it's funny because it wasn't until later I was paying more attention to the images that she only had one bracelet on, like one big old ring, the two slightly big dangling earrings, no necklace. Like it's funny how, like, I guess that really is the eye that edits, because to me, she probably could have gotten away with a necklace. Like maybe not a Heart of the Ocean Titanic type ridiculous big blue jewel, but there's something kind of refined that I think she wanted the gown to speak for itself. In Fashion Photo Review, Raja and Aquaria, that came out I think earlier today, they talked about this look. Apparently Raja says it's from a known designer from China. I guess this is from a couple years ago. This concept of the print, like the Wedgwood, kind of plate stuff. And I lived for it. I thought it was absolutely amazing. It has so much structure and like silhouette, and yeah, it was really awesome. And I was also proud of the fact that I think this was planned. Trinity showed off her clavicle, and on her right side, she has this tattoo. For those that don't know, it's the Pulse Orlando heartbeat. That was a logo that was used from that tragedy, and she had people that she knew that had died in that, unfortunately, and it really affected her. So within, I think, a month maybe, within the event, she actually had the tattoo done. And so I noticed that it was one of the standout things to me when she walked the runway, was that not that she would cover it up, but like this outfit helps kind of show that. Do you know what I mean? Like she was definitely proud of how she looks and how she feels. So, and it's funny because Aquaria and Raja were kind of, they were okay with the hair. They didn't hate it, but they didn't think it was like the best. And Aquaria kind of made a comment, which I have to agree with. Like it could have been longer in the back because of the way the back is cut out. And I'm like, now we're like, I get it. It's the end of All Star, so we're nitpicking.
Yeah. I think it looks great. I love it. Anyway.
So Damon, your thoughts on the runway overall?
So I said eleganza gaggery, and I will just say this: I was gagged most of the time. With regards to the looks, they all look really good. They all look high class. They all look probably like they dropped some major coin to get these looks made. Notwithstanding, most of them are bright and colorful. Notwithstanding, they all seem to just be really, really good. Like this is what I'm presenting to the finale. Like this is me in my best. I've made it all the way to the end. Like give me the crown. I wish they would have worn them when they crowned them, but that's beside the point. They never do that anymore. They don't anyway. But just like this is just it for me. Like they all look so amazing. I was totally gagged. I'm very happy with it. Again, talking with the guys that I was there with at NAB. Everyone was very much like they loved them. They liked it. And I think that kind of shows to me anyway that this was where, you needed to show your A game. Like, were you waiting until the last minute to show, like you have to worry when you're editing, or packing or whatever. Like, I need to remember, like, if there's a finale, I need a finale look. I need something that will like drop jaws.
Right.
And be stunning. And I think they all achieved that in some capacity. While I've been critiquing Monique, this is one of the best times I've seen her look. Carson, I believe, mentions that as well. So I'm happy that she got an opportunity to wear this. I do honestly wish though that she had chosen a different color than black.
Well, it's funny because now that we're looking at the shot of the four of them lined up in their runway looks, it's
Mm-hmm.
comical to me because I just realized it's like one of the four did not get the memo that the colors were purple or blue. Because Monet's is blue with like this aqua teal purple or blue with the purple. It's like this kind of aubergine eggplant. Naomi is wearing this, plum satin richness. Trinity is wearing this azure, kind of like Grecian blue white. And then Monique's wearing black. Like she looks so out of place, like compared to the other three.
Yeah.
And that's really not fair. And I imagine that might have made her feel a little uncomfortable when they're in the workroom getting ready and they get their outfits out and they're, getting dressed, because you start to realize like you don't look like the others. So it could work one way or the other. Like you could stand out for a good reason or not so much.
Not so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, it's funny that I have this image up because this is my comments. Yes, no, yes. And all you have to do is go from left to right. This is exactly the way they walked the runway, and this is exactly the way I felt. I was like, yes to Monet, no to Monique, no to Naomi, and yes to Trinity. And what's sad about it is, like, there's more that Monique's could have had done to it. Like, I already talked about the theming thing was lacking, which it doesn't have to be there, but it was a surprise to me and I guess a disappointment. And Naomi, I just think is too fashion, like too over the top.